All right. Good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. I'm your host, Brandon Troy, host and co-creator of Movies and Shakers Unlimited. Thanks again for joining us, for sticking around. Hopefully you enjoyed the show that we had with the writer and director of Go, Don't Go, Alex Knapp. We do have another guest joining us from that project. So give me one moment while I introduce them. So I would like to introduce actress Olivia Luccardi. Let me bring her on. How you doing, Olivia?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So first and foremost, how are you? How are things? And I know we've had an interesting start to our year. How are you doing?
Yeah. I'm doing, I can't complain from my end. So I think that's doing pretty well considering everything. Yeah. Right now I'm doing good.
Awesome, awesome. So again, thanks so much for joining us. Talk about this film, Go, Don't Go. Uh, just to get us started, can you tell me how you got involved with this project?
Yeah, Alex, the writer director, and he played the character of Adam as well.
Yes.
His girlfriend and I, we knew each other since we were kids through our moms. So she contacted me asking if she could put me in touch or put Alex in touch with me for this project that he was doing. And of course, I said yes. And he sent it to me, and I liked it, and we talked about it and made it happen. And then I was with them for about a week filming, I believe, like a few days in a week. Yeah, it was really an amazing project to be a part of, though. And the outcome is fantastic.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's funny. I know we were talking about it off stage a bit. I was talking to Alex just about that whole idea of isolation and loneliness that this film tackles. But the thing that I feel is at the center of it is your character and how your character plays an anchor in so much of that story. So a lot of times when you have a lot of instances where you have characters that I feel are so pivotal in acting as an anchor for not just the story, but many of the characters, it can be a unique burden to have because you really have to create such an impact within that story in order to have the stakes there for the character in the story. So can you
like
speak
my
to
like my character Kay.
Yes.
It's funny, you're the second person that's brought that up of the importance of Kay. And I don't know if you were just saying this, but you saying like what you were just saying, it triggered this feeling or this idea of I like how did I prepare myself to be that sort of pivotal character, or not like Oracle, but kind of like Oracle, but not. But I I feel like luckily I didn't during the time kind of realize how pivotal I was, because I think that would have put so much more stress on me of being like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Um, so luckily I kind of just always did the part of Kay the way Alex wrote it. I mean, he did a good job of where it was easily to portray what he put out in front of me. Um, but it's funny that you're the second person to bring that up. Oh, can you
Yeah,
hear me?
absolutely, absolutely. So
Oh,
with that in mind, as he was saying too, we have a lot of these stories that deal with that
can
type
you say that
of
again?
yeah. We deal with a lot of stories that have that type of element of the end of the world and how would I respond in this situation. So can you speak to that too, in terms of that trope that we see oftentimes in films, but providing a fresh spin to it?
I'm sorry. Can you say the beginning half again? I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
The audio cut out.
Yeah. No worries. So I was just speaking, I guess, to that trope of what we have a lot of times with apocalyptic or quote unquote apocalyptic films, end of the world films, and how would I respond in this given circumstance or this situation? Can you talk to that and the unique spin that this film provides with that trope that we are familiar with?
Um, yeah, I think that's something that's sort of different in the post-apocalyptic world that Alex created is honestly for me, I think there's like a calmness, like a serene sense about it. Um, it like something that I like that's different about it is it really sits in time. Like when you're in his times of being isolated and alone in this world where you don't know what happened, that he sits there and you see and really feel that isolation and loneliness. And we don't have like a dog or animal companion like some like post-apocalyptic and apocalyptic movies have. Um yeah, I'm not too sure.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
would say additionally to jump off of that, this and the way this film is executed and uh, in terms of the information that it provides to the audience and being able to put pieces together. Can you talk about being on the other side of that as the performer of being in the right headspace based on what the scene requires? Because a lot of times everything, not to say that when you're filmmaking anyway, a lot of it's not very linear and you are shooting it in different
Mm-hmm.
spots, but still in terms of shooting the film and the bigger picture of how the story comes together, and knowing that okay, we have this specific moment in time, and then we're now in this space, and being able to wrap your head around uh, being in the appropriate headspace based on where the characters are in that story.
Well, for my character specifically, I believe there's only really one scene to where had to sort of deal with the trauma that's happening in the world for them. But it was so then you have the memories, right? And the
Right.
memories are, those are pretty, them meeting at a bar and getting to know each other, we all know that, we've all felt that. And then for me, for the like later ones where you see Kay in visions and where his worlds start sort of getting meshed together. I know for me to get in that headspace, I just would, not to sound cliche, but think of an angel or fairy or like something ethereal, something that's not really there. And also for when we're in the cabin, um, I also tried to like, for those sort of vision things, I tried to also just keep in mind of like motherly love, comfort, sort of emotion, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's but I'm not sure how to ever answer like headspace questions because I don't even really know how I get there most of the time. But that is what I was thinking of when I was working with Kay a lot, was just having this dreamlike sense to her that, you know, is so dreamlike that it's almost unattainable. Does that make sense? I'm always so doubtful when I answer questions. I'm
Yes,
like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if any
sure.
of that makes sense. So I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I would try to think of when I was working as her.
Gotcha, gotcha. And can you? I was, and I know everyone always has a different perspective or idea when it comes to stories like these, and then also it's been fascinating to see a lot of these films that are very poignant to our current time and space right now. And I know it probably wasn't even the the idea to have it released right now. So uh, can you also speak to that in terms of what what you have in your day to day as an actress, and uh, how looking back on your experiences on this film, and perhaps what you are experiencing now has been, how that experience has been in thinking back on making this film, and what you're dealing with now as an actress with how the industry is functioning now.
It's definitely different. It is a different industry now. Um, well, I think it, like you were saying, we definitely didn't, we didn't know that COVID was going to happen and, a year long of quarantining and stuff like that. Um, and it is interesting that it comes out now because I think there's a, sorry, I'm getting like tangled. I think there's a sense of isolation that we now never expected to feel that we do feel. So in the film, I always say like Adam, Alex's character Adam isn't really going the healthiest route of isolation mental health. Um, and I know for me personally, during the time of like quarantining and being isolated and alone, I'm lucky enough that I do have a partner that we've been able to save each other during all this. But I know that I've definitely, during all this, I've worked on my core values, where I want to spend my energy in life, uh, what makes me happy. I've let go of things that don't make me happy. I've Maria Kondoed my life, or I can't even say her name right. Marie Kondoed my life. Um, but for the acting world, I'm just going to keep on trucking and keep on doing it and shoot my tapes from the setup I have set up right here, right now. And I don't really know what the world holds for us after for acting right now. I don't know. Deep question, man. Yeah.
Sure, sure, yeah, definitely. And I actually feel like that's a good segue. Mind you, perhaps thinking about a more optimistic segue. uh, in terms of looking forward and beyond. Obviously, we have this film, Go and Don't Go, and as a performer, you're well aware this is always, just as you said, about trucking forward, and
Mhm.
always thinking back and enjoying the prior experiences that you have, and celebrating those projects that you're a part of, but also preparing for what's to come ahead. Are you able to say what projects you are in the process of working on now, or what stage they're in?
I can.
Early.
We're at the very beginning.
Okay.
We are in the auditioning stages of
Okay.
life.
Okay.
So at the moment, there's nothing in the works. Hopefully soon, I believe soon. But I did have several things actually come out in 2020, which is, I'm very grateful for. So I do have this film Paint that came out last month. And that's a film I really loved. And it's about artists trying to make it in New York City after art school.
Yes.
And then I did, yeah, which we can all, I feel like a lot of people, they get it. Like most of New York gets it. But then I also did a campy comedy horror comedy, and it was directed by Zelda Williams, and that's on the CW Seed, and it's called Kappa Kappa Die. And then I did Vienna and the Phantoms, which we did shoot like 6 years ago. We shot it a long time ago, and that just came out. So that was a little lackluster, I'm not going to lie, because it was like, oh, it's finally out? Oh, it's out. Oh, shot it 6 years ago. We've all changed so much, I feel like. I know I have, because that was only my second film. So it's like, oh, I've grown. I've grown a lot as an actor from this small little part, but great film. It's nice. It's great cast. And yeah, so everyone listening, put it out in the universe that I get something, please. I'd appreciate it.
Well, there you have it. Olivia, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course, thank you.
Thanks so much for talking Go, Don't Go. As I mentioned before in our show just before, Go, Don't Go is available now on demand and on digital. Before I let you go, Olivia, can you tell folks where they can find you?
They can find me on Instagram is the best bet. My name is Luccardi, Lucchardii. You can also find me as Luccardi on I just said that, on Instagram and on Twitter. I don't know how to accept Twitter followers at the moment because I haven't really been using it. But Instagram.
Fair enough.
Still there.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. Well, there you guys have it. Again, I want to thank Olivia again for hopping on the show. I'm your host, Brandon Troy, host and co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. Thanks so much for watching. As always, you can find us on our live streams here on Facebook. You can also find us on our encore of our live streams on YouTube. Find us on Twitter at Move and Shake UNLTD, Instagram, Movers Shakers Unlimited. And of course, me, Brandon Troy ENT on Twitter, and Brandon Troy _ENT on Instagram. There you guys have it. Thanks again so much for watching. Be safe out there, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye.
Thank you so much.